right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Blindside Blitz. I am Jim McPhee. Right there in the studio is Mr. Joe DeCapita.
What's going on, Blitz Nation? Welcome back for yet another one. You know what time it is. We're going to be talking some football as same as any other week, but we got a very special guest with us, the man, the myth, the legend that is Greg Kellogg. Welcome to the show, Greg. Really do appreciate you stopping in. Going to break down some knowledge with fantasy football. Hey, you guys need fantasy? You have any fantasy questions? Make sure you drop them down below in the comment section so we can ask Greg, pick his ear. He'll let us know what's good, what's bad, or indifferent. But before we get to all that, make sure you help us out. Head over to our channel at Grumblings Media. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you also hit the thumbs up while you're there. It's so easy, just a couple clicks. And then also tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's get into this, Jim.
Absolutely, Joe. Again, Joe knows I used to do fantasy football and stuff. I was pretty good at it and stuff, but I was always the bridesmaid, never the bride. I get there all the whole way, and my team would just crap out. It seems like, I just couldn't get it done, So I bowed out, but Joe's still deep into it. We're going to get into it. Now, let me just touch on, I guess, Daniel Jones here. I'm sure pretty much probably 0.9% of people actually drafted Daniel Jones, or maybe he wasn't even on teams or even picked up from the waiver wire. Do you think he can continue this stride that he has so far with the Colts?
Well, I do. I said when he went to the Colts, he was going to be an upgrade over Anthony Richardson, because Anthony Richardson wasn't completing even 50% of his passes. So what does Daniel Jones bring to the Colts? He brings a little bit better timing, much better reading of defenses. See, that's the problem we have with a lot of the young quarterbacks. They can't read the defenses. Your show name, so appropriate for this week. Blindside Blitz. I mean, we've lost so many quarterbacks this week because of blitzing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, no, I think Daniel Jones continues. He's got good receivers there. Now, he doesn't have anybody in Indy that's as good as Malik Neighbors was. Okay, that's a given. But he's got better coaching. He really does have better. So, yeah, I think he can continue. Right now he's the number 2 fantasy quarterback, because he also has something that a lot of pocket passers don't have, the ability to run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And again, that's probably probably one of the biggest sleepers, I think, in fantasy so far. I don't think a lot of people really saw this coming. So I'm sure people are trying to snack him up right now, to pick him up, especially due to some injuries. Like you said, injuries happened a lot this week, especially due to the blitzes. 5 quarterbacks are currently injured here, starting good quarterbacks. The biggest one, I guess, biggest name out of them all, Joe Burrow, who's going to be missing 3 weeks. He's having surgery.
No.
3 months,
no.
Right? 3 months.
3 to 6 months.
6 months. Yeah, 3 months.
And
yeah,
if they're already in the dumpster, which they probably will be, Browning is not going to. Why? Browning threw 3 interceptions in the first game that he did it. He keeps doing that. They're not going to win games, and the defense is kind of shot there. Why bring him back at all this year? Let him heal.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So again, there's the injuries there. So say somebody had, Joe Burrow or one of these guys here. Joe Burrow, obviously, again, gone for 3 months. So they're going to try to find a quarterback. Is there somebody that still might be on the waiver wire that somebody can pick up here to replace Joe Burrow? Because you said, like yourself, it's like most times people try and pick up the backup here because he's going to fall in line. But Jake Browning, he can only get you so far. He barely scraped out a victory there, after turning the ball over 3 times.
Well, I will say this. I've got 3 names for you. The first one on my list is Carson Wentz. Carson is basically not owned in any sleeper league, 0%. Now, he's owned in some, obviously, but Carson Wentz has had success in this league. His second year in the league, he threw 33 touchdowns and against just 7 interceptions, and I think over 3,200 yards. Plus, he has some mobility. Now, he's not a running quarterback, don't get me wrong, but he's had 200 to 400 yards every year he's started. So, and his last chance starting was in 2021, and he did pretty good there. 17 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, maybe 4,000 yards passing. I think with these receivers in Minnesota, I think Justin Jefferson, most people drafted Jamar Chase as the number one receiver this year. I'm not most people. I passed on Chase because I typically go running back in the first round. But my number one wide receiver this year in the preseason was Justin Jefferson, because it's almost impossible for fantasy receivers to repeat as number one. It has happened. Antonio Bryant did it, but it doesn't happen very often. So I went with Justin Jefferson. Now with Browning, I doubt that many people have Jamar Chase as their number one anymore. Mm-hmm. But you do have to be very careful, because that offensive line is missing the two offensive guards, which is going to make it harder. And they also lost their starting running back, Aaron
Jones. Yep.
Aaron Jones, went out with a hammy. Now he may only be down a week, and I think that's actually good. We'll get to him when we get into the running backs. But I like Carson Wentz. I do like Jake Browning if you're desperate. Daniel Jones is not available on very many leagues right now, because he's the number 2 fantasy quarterback after 2 weeks. But Jake Browning, he's also on 0% rosters. Now, Sleeper hosts so many leagues that he could be on 1,000 leagues and still come up as 0%. You just have to be aware of that. The guy I think is interesting to me is your guy. Russell Wilson's only on 13% of rosters in sleeper leagues. That means 87% of leagues he's available on the waiver wire. Now, I think he's more of a boomer bust. I think you got to look over his shoulder, because I love this Jackson Dart kid. You mentioned, are they going to sprinkle him in some? Well, I think that's smart if they do, because eventually, for Dabble to keep his job, he's going to have to go to Dart, because they're not going to win. The team's just not good enough to win right now. So for him to keep his job, he's got to show that he's building for the future. And I think starting Scatabo and Dart goes a long way in giving him an extra year. So I think politically it's smart for Dabble to start Dart at some point, but I don't think you just put him in after Russell Wilson throws for 300 yards.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned Carson Wentz, Russell Wilson, and you have one more possibly?
Jake Browning.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got good receivers, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, so I just, if I'm taking those three, I'm probably taking Wentz first and Wilson second. But that's because in a couple of leagues we have taxi squads, and I drafted Dart after his preseason, and I've got him on my taxi squad. So even if I take Wilson, I can play him until Dart becomes a starter, and then I swap him out.
Oh, excellent. Now, we talked about the quarterbacks and the impact that they have, but when a quarterback goes down, obviously you have, like you said, Jamar Chase. Now with Wentz, you think that's going to make Justin Jefferson probably get some more looks now and do better and perform fantasy wise. Do you think anybody again is going to really be affected by these moves? Like a lot, like is there, I guess people might be afraid to kind of start them or not. So,
everybody.
Yeah. Like who do you think is going to be most
quarterback
affected?
Affects everybody, but the hidden truth is the offensive lineman that went down. When you have 2 starting guards go down like Minnesota did, Detroit is playing with a new center because their center from last year retired, 2 new guards. And you saw in week 1 against Green Bay, they struggled. All right. Week 2 against Chicago is not Green Bay. They're not there yet. Okay. And it was at home, and everybody knows Goff plays better in a dome than he does on grass. The first game was at Lambeau. Okay. He throws 5 touchdown passes in that Chicago game this weekend. But the offensive line looked much better. Tate Rutledge is the guard that Detroit drafted this year. I believe he went to Georgia. This kid's going to be a star. He really is. But they're still not. It's communication thing. Taylor Decker said something that I think you can appreciate as a football guy. he said that people saw Tate Rutledge block the wrong play on one of the plays. Decker came out and said, "Hey, I blocked the same play that Rutledge was blocking, and the other three guys blocked the play that was actually ran." Said our communication in Green Bay was just poor, and so they worked on that. That's Dan Campbell's a great coach. Okay, yeah, he lost 2 coordinators and 8 total coaches, but when you have communication problems, you fix them. And that's what they did that whole week before the Chicago game. I'm really looking forward to see what they do, because I'm a Lions fan, what they do against the Ravens in Baltimore. I think that's going to be a very interesting Monday.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a great match.
And we've had some great games this year. That Baltimore-Buffalo game, my God, that was a great game.
That was really good.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking to Greg Kellogg. You can find him on X, Gregory L. Kellogg, the sports affiliations, where you can find a bunch of podcasts by him, fantasy football, Hall of Famer. Absolutely. So yeah, we talked about a couple of injuries here and there. We're going to do a little stardom sit-em, I guess, for this week. Week 3, like you said, there's some great matchups this whole season, but who are you looking to start and who you might want to avoid this week?
Well, okay, I didn't prepare for that. I was looking, but I can do that. I was looking at players to pick up because of all the injuries. And so one of the players that I would look at starting in a flex position is the new running back in Minnesota. Now, granted, their line looked horrendous. It got J.J. McCarthy injured. But again, what do you do after you look terrible? You work on the issues. And I think Minnesota will do that. And I love this Jordan Mason kid. I really do. He runs hard too. And he's going to be the full-time starter now. There's not going to be a lot of sharing in that backfield. So we're going to get a chance to see what he does. And he is owned in 84% of leagues. So most leagues have this guy owned already. And I got your kid, Cam Scannabo, as another kid to pick up. He's owned in 73% of leagues. But here's a name for you, Bashan Tuten. Okay, he's the backup in Jacksonville. And when they shipped Tank Bigsby out, when they traded him to the Ravens, to the Eagles, excuse me, when they traded him to the Eagles, that opened it up for Tuten. Tuten's going to have a role. He's going to be a change of pace back for Travis Etienne. So he's a guy that's going to have a role. And if Etienne goes down, which he has done before, he becomes a full-time starter. Another kid that you might want to pick up is my Michigan boy, Blake Corum. I think J.J. Zachariason mentioned Blake Corum this week as a guy to look at because he's one injury away from a top 10 running back job, because that's what Kyron Williams is, the top 10 running back. So, who do you start? The Giants are giving up a lot of yardage to running backs. I might look at who they're playing this week.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Who are they playing this week?
I just had it. They're playing the Chiefs.
You're a Giants fan. You should know that.
I know. It's like I've tried covering so many, but they're playing the Chiefs.
So Isaiah Pacheco has looked terrible. Do you give him another week or not? I probably won't. I'll probably tell you to sit Pacheco, even though the Giants have looked bad. Carolina is another team you want to play your running backs against. So, off the top of my head, if they're a top 24 guy, you probably want to play him. This in Snap, Crackle, Pop, I look at the people you don't want to play, the top 24 running backs that you want to sit. I said sit Dylan Sampson because they signed their rookie, and he actually got some playing time in week 2, Quinshon Judkins. And he looked pretty good in the playing time he got. I think as the season goes on, he'll get more and more. So Quinshon Judkins is a guy that I would look at running.
He just got listed as the starter this week. He moved up to in his starting position. Yeah. So
and he's going to get probably 15 carries. I don't think they'll overload him right now. And Dylan Sampson is still the third down back. He's a good receiver.
Yeah.
So he'll still get some looks, but he's got to get in the end zone to really be fantasy worthy. Now, one guy that I thought looked really good but didn't get a lot of opportunity is in Houston, and that's Woody Marks. He looked explosive. He had better, yards per carry than
Chubb.
Nick Chubb had. He caught one pass and took it 37 yards. I mean, he just looked explosive. He's just not getting the opportunities he needs right now.
Right. All right. Any other people that you would think you would avoid this week now? Maybe due to injuries?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a good friend that's another Hall of Famer named Scott Engel.
Oh, we know
I
Scott.
went into the Hall the same year you did. Yeah, Scott's a great guy. Scott always says, when in doubt because of injury, go with the healthy player. So there's no way I'm starting Daniels this week. Jaden Daniels is on my bench because I don't know what his status is. Now, you watch the practice reports. He's probably going to be limited or non-participant early this week. If late in the week he's a full participant, then you can go ahead and feel pretty safe about playing him. But for now, I'm not doing it. I'm just not. I told people to sit this tonight. I told people to sit Jordan Love. Green Bay is the real deal. They really are. But Myles Garrett, they're going to play in Cleveland, and Myles Garrett already has 3.5 sacks, including 1.5 against Lamar Jackson, who is the most mobile quarterback in the league. If they can sack Jackson 1.5 times, what are they going to do to Jordan Love? I just think that this is going to be a tough game for him. Yeah, I do expect Green Bay to win because they've got a very strong defense. But I just think Jordan Love is going to struggle to be a top 12 quarterback this week.
All right. We're talking to Gregory Kellogg here. You can find him on X or Gregory L. Kellogg, fantasy football Hall of Famer. Joe, let's wrap it up with one more question here for Gregory. We can get him up out of here, and hopefully we can have him on one more time again, too. A lot of knowledge about fantasy football. He's been doing this for a long time, so it's great to get the knowledge from him.
Absolutely. Now, Greg, a lot of people have this same kind of debate about fantasy football and drafts and what to do, what you can't do, what you shouldn't do. When it comes to drafting, I know that there's a lot of people have their own kind of plan going into the draft. But in your opinion, in the first couple of rounds and whatnot, a lot of people like to go running back first round. Some people now are kind of starting to shift gears a little bit when it's PPR, especially full PPR, and they're going to say, "Oh, I'm taking wide receiver no matter what." Within the first couple of rounds, in your opinion, should you always still to this day continue to draft running back in round one, or is this kind of like dealer's choice?
Round one, no. I do think in the first 4 or 5 rounds, you need to have 2 running backs and 1 or 2 wide receivers. Now, I used to draft Travis Kelce in the first round because Travis Kelce in fantasy in years past would score 60 to 100 points more over the course of a season than the second best tight end, not the 12th best, the second best. So he was a difference maker at the position. I think that you go with the best player available, but running back is the most injury-prone position in the NFL. And you don't win your league in the draft. You can lose it there. You win your league by managing your team. Every week, hit the waiver wire and improve your roster. Every week, there's some kid, Troy Franklin in Denver. This kid's got 15 targets in 2 games, and he's catching the ball. 12 catches and 15 targets, and he's only owned on 8% of rosters in Sleeper. The kid's still a free agent. Go get him. I mean, he's playing well. Bo Nix is a good quarterback, and we know that coaching staff in Denver is good, so go get him. Jawan Johnson, people look at his history and say, well, he can't last. He's got 20 targets in 2 weeks. Who else are they throwing to? They're throwing to Juwan Johnson and Chris Olave. That's it. As long as you're throwing to Johnson, he's going to put up points. It's that simple. So improve your roster. He's only owned in 51% of leagues, which is amazing to me because as a tight end, he got 11 targets in week 1 and 9 in week 2. 20 targets in 2 weeks, you've got to get that guy on your roster. If you don't, if you have a great tight end, then fine. But Brock Bowers has a bum knee right now. We don't know how good he's going to be. George Kittle is out for probably 2 to 3 more weeks. Jake Tongas is a guy I'd look at because San Francisco throws to the tight end. Now, he didn't get a lot of looks in the first start with Mac Jones. And Mac Jones will be there again this week because Brock Purdy's another one of those quarterbacks that's out. So you've got to wait and see. But if you got no tight end or your tight end is way underperforming, why not roll the dice on a Jake Tongas and see if he can't help you? Yeah,
it's
Zach Ertz has a touchdown in each of the first 2 games, and Zach Ertz has been playing this game a long time. I think he's 36 years old.
It's almost too long at this point, but he's still going.
Well, you'd think so, but he's got a touchdown in the first 2 games, and not everybody can say that. So, I would say manage your roster. If you go 0-2, the season's not over. It's a long season. Keep managing your team. The worst thing that happens in fantasy leagues is when you get owners abandon their team.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I know. I agree.
That
drives played in a while too, and I still
nobody likes to see somebody get automatic. If I'm 0-8, I'm still trying to win each week because I can play spoiler. I just at 0-8, I'd like to beat the undefeated team. It gives you. I'm a Michigan fan. We can lose 5 games in a year as long as we beat Ohio State. It's a good year. It's a good year. And yes, I do like the fact that we went undefeated and won the national championship. You know what I like even more than the national championship? The fact that Ohio State won the national championship last year and we still beat them.
So there you go. That's right. It's like if you can beat the champion, hey, we still got that at least too, right? The rivalry lives on. There you go. Absolutely. So Greg Kellogg joining us tonight, Fantasy Football Hall of Famer, the sports affiliation on YouTube. Check it out. And on X, great listens, great podcasts out there. Our boy Iggy helps run that
he does
company too as well. He's a great guy. We love having him on, talk some more fantasy. So Greg, thank you so much for joining us. We hope to have you on again, talk some more fantasy. Enjoy the rest of your night, buddy.
Whenever you like, except in October, I'm headed to Thailand for a month.
Ooh. Oh man. See you later. Enjoy that. Absolutely.
Well, my daughter's opening up a health clinic with a doctor friend of hers over there. So we're going to go over and help her open it.
Excellent. That sounds amazing. Sounds amazing, man. Check it out. Well,
I have a good family. I've got good kids. I really do.
That's awesome. Oh, hell yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right.
Jimmy, Joe, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Take care, buddy.
Hey, everybody watching, like and subscribe. Give these guys a follow.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And we'll see you soon, buddy. All right, there you go. Greg Kellogg. That's right. And again, Fantasy Football Hall of Famer. Again, it's been doing it for a long time. He knows everybody here at Grumblings Media, though. Again, so it's good to get some knowledge from him, too. He's still active doing stuff. He's still got a lot of different teams. He's talking taxi and everything, all this other stuff that I don't even know about anymore because I've been out of the game for so long. So good stuff, good pickups. We hope to have him on again. So, Joe, there you go. I had to take just a big, deep breath here. Flush my fantasy mind. All right, so let's get back into it. What a week it was again, and
what a week.
You talk about ups and downs, especially fantasy and stuff.
A lot of downs.
I'm sure a lot of owners last week were bugging out because a lot of their guys weren't doing anything, and then this year just flipped the script. All of a sudden, boom, just like that. So I mean, tale of two different weeks and stuff, and that's just the NFL.
I mean, it's the NFL, but like, oh my God, what happened in week 2, all the injuries that have transpired, whether it directly affects your fantasy player or it's somebody on the team that affects them, like the offensive line. I mean, we've seen linemen fall like flies this week this past week where guards are dropping like flies. They're injured. They're going to be out for significant time for varying different teams. And it seems like it's becoming a trend. And it's only week 2, everybody.
Mhm.
Injuries are piling up, and it's scary in fantasy right now. Like now in week 3 coming up, I'm petrified. I hope none of my players get injured in week 3. Like it is uncanny the speed of which everybody that is getting hurt, and significant players too. Jaden Daniels, one of them. Joe Burrow, we mentioned earlier. Like, and even it's happening to like when your offensive linemen get hurt, it directly affects your running backs who you have. Aaron Jones, we mentioned earlier in the show. He's going to be out for a few weeks, couple weeks at least. Now that gives ample opportunity if you already have him in Jordan Mason, going to be the full-fledged feature back who's going to get not only was he already getting the majority of the touches and getting the majority of the opportunities, but now he's the man. Now there is no Aaron Jones cutting into his touches. So teams that already have Mason, because he definitely got drafted in pretty much almost every league, they're overjoyed. I got a starting caliber back that I can have for at least a couple weeks, and then it doesn't stop there, because if he performs well, guess what, Aaron Jones? I don't know, man. You just lost your job. You lost the opportunities that you would have otherwise had. So it's time in week 3 for a lot of players to step up and try to earn their way and either getting more snaps or just flat out taking over the job.
Absolutely. Let's give a shout out to some of our guys in the comment. We love it when you guys are out there.
What's going on, everybody?
Christian Dickinson's in the house. He said he might have had a little too much optimism for the Giants here. He said where I'm at currently is just getting rid of Shane Bowen. How about that? Wants to get rid of Shane Bowen just like that. We've got Philly Mike in the house with us too. Absolutely. He's lighting up the chat. And then he also says he doesn't think that Jake Browning's going to get the start on that. Everything I'm seeing right now says it's leading to that, but I mean, I can get it if he doesn't, but again, they just grabbed Brett Rippon. I mean, he just joined the team. So what's he going to do? You know what I'm saying? I don't think, especially if you put him in, he's not lighting it up, No. So sort of like what Greg's saying. I mean, at this point now, if Joe Burrow's out that long, what's this team really going to do? You cashed in to pay all of your weapons. You barely brought back in, Trey Hendrickson. The defense is still struggling. That offensive line is terrible, which is why your quarterback is injured. And now what are you going to do? Again, do you try to still push this forward until Burrow comes out? I don't know. I don't think Browning's going to be able to do any of that. So what do they do? I don't think they make any trades either because they can't.
I mean, honestly, this is ridiculous, to be honest with you. We've talked about it on this show several times and said, as soon as your starter goes, especially a high-end starter like a Joe Burrow, like a Jaden Daniels, who's most likely is doubtful for this week leading up against Vegas. And when you lose your starter, that is such a huge blow to your offense and the way it runs and how smoothly it can go and just the talent that they bring. You lose that. Your team is decimated offensively when your quarterback goes down. You're going to struggle to put up points. It's 100% written on the wall. Joe Burrow not being in Cincinnati ready to go next week. Guess what? More than likely, Browning is not going to be the guy to lead you to the triumphant winning circle. It's just not going to happen. And there might be some weird couple weeks throughout the season where they manage to pull a win off here and there, but it's not going to be up to the level that they need to be in order to make the playoffs now, or even be in the hunt. This is a bigger deal than people are kind of looking into. I understand we hear the big name Joe Burrow and everyone's like, oh, Cincinnati's done. But no, this is catastrophic because this is yet another big time injury that Joe Burrow has sustained in his short career. The dude is only 28 years old, everybody. Guess what? Does anybody remember Andrew Luck from the Indianapolis Colts? He retired when he was 29. And the crazy thing is the fact that there's been, let me put it this way. So Joe Burrow has sustained, he's been sacked a ton of times more than Andrew Luck at 28 years old, versus Andrew Luck, who's 29, decided to retire because he's like, I'm not going to continue doing this, getting my body beat up and worrying about getting another concussion and whatnot. So Joe Burrow is only 28. Joe Burrow has sustained significant injury after injury, and I don't think this is a thought in the room yet, but Joe Burrow's got to be careful with his health. I don't think he's going to retire or anything like Luck kind of did, but this is dangerous now. This guy continues to get hurt every single year, it seems like, and it's just it decimates the Cincinnati Bengals and what they're able to do. They have to have this high-powered offense in order to stay in the hunt or even make the playoffs. And now they lost their biggest attribute in their quarterback. I think it's off the rails at this point, Jim. I don't see it going any other way. We said it 100 times. You lose your quarterback, your season's pretty much done.
Yeah, especially them again, a team that went all in on that offense and Joe Burrow, and it sucks again because we've talked about this guy, the output that he does, and how he's in contention for like an MVP candidate every year. It's just the fact that he was injured or coming off an injury too, so he ends up always being that comeback player of the year because he's just coming back from some sort of injury here, and I think that once he went down in the injury too, he was just knew it. That's like, do it again. Like seriously. And the fact that it's like a category 3, which is super hyper extended.
It's terrible.
Yeah, that's nuts. So, again, he's out. That's got to put a fork in him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for when the team's here, that's just, it sucks. Cause again, they get the first win. You're like, all right, this is maybe a different Cincinnati team. And no, just like that, it's over.
No, and that's the thing. Is like the season's over with right now. But here's my problem. I have a big problem with the Cincinnati Bengals right now as an organization because they went out and I understand. I get it. You had to pay the money for Jamar Chase. You had to pay the money for T. Higgins. You had to keep Trey Hendrickson happy at least for 1 year. You got to get Shamar Stewart in there, the young rookie that they have. Like they had to go out of their way to put the money in those spots and keep those very highly talented players. I get all that. But you didn't invest in the offensive line. You need to protect the biggest commodity in your organization, and that's Joe Burrow. You got to protect him. They have neglected year after year protecting Joe Burrow and allowing him to stay in the pocket and not get hit like every other play. So much so that I got the stats right here. He's already been sacked 27 more times than Andrew Luck, despite playing 15 fewer games than him. Luck retired, like I said earlier, 29 years old due to injuries. Burrow is 28. What the hell are you guys doing out there in Cincinnati? Wake the hell up and get this guy some help. Otherwise, he's going to be leaving the field every year on a stretcher.
Absolutely. Mike Tackett's out there. He's our guy. He says Toe Burrow. So there you go. That could be the nickname.
Good dad joke right there.
Yeah, there it is. It is. Way to go. Like yeah. Way to go, Dad. All right. Shout out to Eric Bowers out there, too. Shout out to he's another Giants guy. He says Giants losing Wink Eric Martindale Bowers 2 years ago hurt the Giants defense. Was a shame that he and Dable couldn't coexist. And you know what? Again, I think a lot of the locker room was behind Wink Martindale. You know what happens when people feel intimidated and stuff, start losing it, they get rid of that. Start losing the power. You're drawn towards him? It's time to let you go, buddy. Now it's time to walk. You know what I mean? Get off here. And now he's being exposed again. That the team is out of control. Penalty after penalty, even though again, I think some of them were suspect by the referees last week, but still disciplined. The same old crap every single year. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. And I think people just aren't buying in. Malik Neighbors looks like he's just out again for his guys, Russell Wilson players, but he's just in his own mind. He's just like, forget this guy. We're just playing. We're doing our thing,
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing what the Giants pulled off last week. I got to say, I'm really impressed. I thought the Cowboys were going to steamroll through the Giants, get an easy win, and not have to even blink twice. The Giants gave them every bit a run for their money. Defensively, offensively. I mean, that was a literal shootout. What an amazing and exciting game to watch as a football fan. And that actually leads me to more questions about the Cowboys. I mean, this is a Cowboys team that, first week, I get it. They're playing the Eagles, but they were competitive. I felt like it in that game. They kind of stayed around a little bit. But the lack of defense also hurt them yet again. And it did against the Giants. the Cowboys defense is dramatically declined, everyone. Like, no more DeMarcus Lawrence there. No more Micah Parsons. You can see now just how much of an impact that has made already.
Right. And you could see Greg even brought it up too. The fact that, right, Jerry Jones came out in the press conference like, when you can't stop the run, I got to get a guy so I can stop the run, maybe pass protection can't do it. It'll be with a run. And okay, the Giants weren't able to run, but they passed all over your ass, and that gets a lot more yardage than a run does most of the time, unless you're Saquon Barkley. And that's what they did. And they attacked Trayvon Diggs. Again, not the guy he used to be. That injury is definitely sat with him, and we already kind of saw it after that injury. You get that surgery, you're not right, and he's not right. He's never going to be that same guy, and you see that they just picked on him. I wish they picked on him more. They could have. Whenever I saw him, especially in that big touchdown pass here where he kind of went up, turned, and got it on him, I just saw him line up on him. I'm like, there, he's one-on-one with Diggs. Go. Do it. And they did, and bang, easy touchdown. So other teams, again, are going to look at that game that are better than the Giants and pick all over these guys.
You can definitely see that Diggs is not the same player he was before the injury. Like, it's still bothering him, whether it be a mental thing, because sometimes that happens. Like, you just constantly in the back of your mind, you're thinking about that injury and hoping that it sustains itself and you don't re-injure it, and it's always in the back of your mind, so it kind of distracts you a little bit. It could be just that, or maybe there's still something wrong with him. He's never going to be the Trayvon Diggs that we were accustomed to before the injury. Our boy Mike Tackett is chiming in, everybody.
That's right.
He said, how hasn't Kirk Cousins been traded yet? Well, you know what, Mike? I mean, we talked about this in the offseason. The Atlanta Falcons were kind of hemming and hawing, going back and forth. Yeah, I think we might take some calls. We might see what we can get for him. And then they slammed the door shut as the season got closer. And they're like, guess what? No, we're going to keep him as a veteran backup in case Michael Penix maybe, potentially might get injured or something like that. And then he can come in, or at the very least, he's going to be a backup. He's going to be kind of like a shoulder to cry on if Penix does in fact struggle at any point this season, because he's done so well up to this point in just a couple of weeks. That seems to be like he's pretty confident. He's doing a good job. But yeah, I don't foresee Kirk Cousins getting traded. I mean, maybe the talk starts to stir a little bit as we get closer to week 8, and then teams are starting to call, because obviously, like, this past week has been absolutely ridiculous in terms of injuries for starting quarterbacks. And it might, maybe it pressures some teams. Maybe they hit the panic button a little bit and they're like, you know what? We can't do this. Like Cincinnati. Burrow's going to be out for almost the whole season, if not the whole season. Like, I don't see him coming back from the IR. I think they just shut him down and be done with it. The season's over. It's too long of an injury to come back from. So, and to be 100% when he does get back. And by that time, they probably won't even be in the playoff race. But maybe Cincinnati makes a move here. Maybe they call Atlanta and say, hey, listen, we didn't expect this to happen. We lost Joe. If we want this season to continue and maybe even give us the slightest shot of continuing and competing in this division, as tough as it is, and maybe making the playoffs, maybe they pick up the phone and call Atlanta and get in right now and say, hey, what do you want for him? Because we're desperate.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's going to be who's the most desperate, right? You see Kirk Cousins. It's sad. You see him on the sidelines, right? Just with the helmet on the whole game. It's like he's potentially going to go in. He's ready. He's what I mean? Gamer. Most backups you see, they're like, they got the headset on or whatever. They're listening in. They're doing this. Yeah. He's just like waiting, like itching. It's like, all right, come on. I'm ready to play. I'm ready to play like right now. Put me in. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, chill. Like, all right, I don't think you're going to be going in anytime soon. Put the helmet, take the helmet off for a little bit, buddy, relax. So he's waiting to get onto that field. And again, I think if it does go down, it would only because somebody's super desperate. We see now the Minnesota Vikings, what's going on with them, and when will they hit desperation mode? This season so far, the first 2 games has not looked pretty. We talked about it last week with JJ McCarthy in his start, not looking good at all. And if it wasn't for a pass interference call, bringing the ball down into scoring range, basically, and then making a few good marches here and making him some plays with his legs too, they don't come out of with a win week 1. So they potentially should have been 0-2. And then it continued this week against a team that still was tough, but in Atlanta. And I know you picked that team to win, but with what that defense was doing and holding Atlanta to just field goals, you in that offense that you have, like I said, it really just, again, I just see that vision of Mr. Deeds and Crazy Eyes with the Ferrari at the end of the movie, and just say, oh, boom, and it crashes. All these things are fast. You have such a good team, good defense, good offensive weapons. Yes, I get the offensive line got banged up last week, but before that, you weren't playing very good. And maybe JJ McCarthy just isn't ready. And the fact that they put all their chips in on him, I told you in the beginning of the season, I think this is crazy. Why didn't they just trying to get another veteran there to help him through things, or start them and then put him in to put it all in? I mean, that was just.
You're not the only one, bro. You're not the only one. Like we both were saying that same thing, in the same tune with JJ McCarthy. Like, I understand the excitement and what he brings mobility wise. And that's probably what the biggest thing was, is like the fans and the coaching staff was like, man, this kid can really run though. Like, I think we can make this work. Like, yeah, he's got a cannon for an arm, but guess what? Something that he doesn't have: touch on the football. Like, this guy he can throw bullet passes, no problem at all. Is he accurate? Hell yeah, he is. But when it comes to just, touching that ball over the cornerback's shoulder to drop it in the basket to the wide receiver, that's where he's kind of like struggling a little bit. And, and it's shown. And the indecision at times. I understand the speed of the game is so much faster than college, but JJ McCarthy, he is just not ready. And it's clear. Like, they literally have thrown him to the wolves and say, hey, he's going to have to learn on the fly. We're going to continue to work with him. And hopefully by the end of the year, we're going to start to see the product that we envisioned. But I'm telling you right now, the kid is struggling. He's panicking at times. You could just see it. Like, panicking, just taking off and running and trying to do everything with his legs. Guess what? That only takes you so far. And sometimes it gets you injured, like last week. And so now he's going to be missing some time. So the Vikings now are in trouble. Is it going to take so long for him to come back and be 100%? And by that time, are they going to have 4 straight losses? Like, I think I will say this, though. The fact that they do have Carson Wentz, he's a veteran. He's been there before. He can win games. Yes, he isn't the flash in the pan like he was when he was with the Eagles for the one season and kind of like took over the league, basically, played extremely well. But he still has that in him, I feel like. I don't think it's gone. And with Kevin O'Connell as his coach, a guy that they're going to understand, and they have some chemistry already as a veteran and a very smart and bright offensive minded coach. They're going to come together. They're going to have a game plan. They're going to execute it. Wentz isn't going to panic, unlike a young JJ has. So maybe this might be good in a sense for the Vikings, to where it's going to add some leadership in the huddle. A guy that people can look at and say, oh, yeah, I've seen this guy play before. All right, we're cool. So I'm curious to see how the Vikings perform now that Wentz is at the helm. And it might be better than people think.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the question. And it's kind of interesting the way it's kind of transpired with it all, right? JJ McCarthy gets his first 2 starts ever, and now he's injured. So you don't have to say, hey, this ain't working now. We can't bench him now. Like, do we just got to live with this or whatever? He's got an injury at least for a couple of weeks. So now you bring in a veteran, mind you, and now I think Carson Wentz now just made history or something like too. He's got paid for 6 or signed,
started,
played, but started for 6 different. Yeah, started for 6 different in 6 consecutive years. So it is crazy. He's moved around, but again, he has experience. He is a Super Bowl champion technically too, and yeah, he knows what to play and how to play, and he can make some plays with his legs too. So that veteran mentality, something that Kevin O'Connell can easily work with, not just a younger guy that's raw, that's fresh, that you still kind of mold. A guy that's been there. He's, again, and look at the coaches that he's been under too as well, under, Andy Reid as well, so a good veteran here, like you said, bring him in week 3. I think it's an upgrade at this point. You know what I mean?
Right? right? Like I
Yeah.
mean, that's how
Well,
I'm kind of looking at it
right.
because
And it's the one downside is not having Aaron Jones, but again, you still have Jordan
it,
there.
dude,
So
dude,
he's a
it is
beast.
not. Listen, people are making this a bigger deal than what it is. Aaron
Right.
Jones lost his job already before
Mhm,
the season started. Like
mhm.
Jordan Mason is
Yeah.
younger already. Jordan
Mhm.
Mason is
Yeah.
way more productive than him in the same offense.
Mhm.
He's getting all the touches, not Aaron Jones anymore. And
Mhm.
Jones could see this. He knew the writing was on the wall. That's why they brought in Jordan Mason because he's younger, because he was so productive in San Francisco. They're like, oh, we could definitely use that guy. That guy could end up being our starter for the future. They bring him in, they trade for him, bring him in, and they give him a big deal. They give him a raise and everything. So they're not going to let that money go to that investment go to waste. So like here he is. Now he's the starter. Now he's got even more opportunities that since Jones goes down. So I mean, I think the Vikings is as much as maybe some Vikings fans are saying, "Oh man, JJ McCarthy's hurt. That's it." Like I guess even when he comes back, like we might be so wounded and beat up that we won't even be able to be the team that we envisioned. But at the same time, like I say, no, you got a veteran quarterback who's going to manage the game. He's not going to be asked to like just freaking do everything himself. He's going to manage the game, distribute the football, and
Mhm.
remember this: Jordan Addison was suspended for the first 2 games. Guess what, everybody? He's making a big
Mhm.
return in week 3, and now you got Justin Jefferson, Jay Jetta, if you will,
Mhm.
and now you got Addison coming back, and oh my God, TJ, I mean, this is going to be awesome for them, and they have a guy who's been there, done that. I think that the Vikings may be even better now that they have Wentz.
All right. Here, before we get into our next couple segments, we gotta plug some, good stuff here. The Grumblings Media
Good
swag,
stuff.
it's out there. It's out. You got to get the new black mug, dude. Check it out. I don't have it yet, but I got to get it myself too. Check it out. It fits more coffee than the white one. You got to do it. Maybe black coffee with the black mug. Go black on black.
Black on black.
So so Grumblings Media, the classic t-shirt too. We're working on our own too right now. So we've got
Mhm.
some bunch there. So there's another funny Trump one out there. So Grumblings Media, shop the swag. There it is. It's look down in the ticker too. You can check it out where you can get it. Support the stream, support the company. We're doing a lot of great things here, and we really appreciate you guys out there too for all the help and support that you give us too. So,
Yeah, dude.
yeah,
Let's
dude,
go. Continue that support. Help us
continue
out.
the support.
Listen, it's so simple, and this don't even cost you any money, by the way. Head over to YouTube at Grumblings Media. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for us. Hit the thumbs up while you're there. Share it. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Spread the word. That's what this is all about, and we want you guys to be active with us. This is an interactive NFL talk show, so you ask a question, you want to make an opinion, you want to make a comment, go free field. Yeah, feel free to do so. That's what I was trying to say. So
There you
down
go.
in the comment section. Like Mike Tackett, by the way, we were talking about the Cowboys earlier. This comment right here is about the Cowboys. He goes, "Who would have guessed that getting rid of arguably the best linebacker in the league and trading for a nose tackle who has passed his prime would cause a downgrade in the Dallas defense?" Hashtag Dementia Jones. I mean,
Yep.
you, listen, people, you're not going to get good commentating like that from anywhere but here. So make sure you dial in.
Absolutely. All right, we've got Mike Tackett also. He says he posed a question here before we get into our next segment. He said, I got into sports betting this year, and thanks to Baker
Okay,
Mayfield and also Jim Harbaugh, I went undefeated on Monday night. I made some
nice.
nice play money. Do you guys bet on games?
I do. Every once in a while, I do. A lot of the times, what I do with my bets, though, is I don't know. I guess I'm a little like a little bit more aggressive when I bet. Not in terms of bigger, like more money that I put down, but like I usually do like long shot bets. So like I like doing like 8 leg parlays and everything, 10 leg parlays or whatnot. And I only put like a couple bucks down. That way, even if I lose, I'm like I really don't care. But if I hit though, the pay is big. The pay is real big. So they're long shots, so more than likely I won't win, but it's fun to do. I just do it just for fun.
Yeah, I don't really gamble. It's just not my thing. I ain't got a lot of time for that either, too. And my money is precious to me. So, and again,
He
people
has
say like,
no
"Hey, you
time,
invest
ladies and
money, you
gentlemen.
try and get some," but I
He's
like
got
stuff that's
listen,
solid for me. So.
this dude's got a big family. He's got kids that he's got to chase around. Like, yeah, he definitely don't have time.
I don't have time. We got 2 podcasts. I'm like, it's crazy, man. It's just crazy. Crazy. This world is so busy, man. And I got to talk about 32 teams. It's nuts, man. Like what my team sucks.
Nuts,
so, I
man.
mean, a lot of stuff going down. So, all right, Joe, thinking about stress and a lot of stuff going down. Let's talk about the 0-2 teams, right?
Okay.
Some of these teams, we're going to see who should hit the panic button, or maybe who should just like, no, we're right. I think they can bounce back. So let's look at the 0-2 teams here. Panic or not, let's get right into it. The Chiefs, they're 0-2. They've lost to the Philadelphia Eagles now too. And in this one, they lost to the Chargers week 1. At first, I say that the first halves of those games were dominated by the other team. And then they were able to sneak a little bit in there, but still coming up short. Travis Kelce with the drop last week too. On top of it, Patrick Mahomes overthrowing Thornton, but then hitting the big bomb after that too, and scrambling around, trying to make plays out of nowhere too, not trusting in his receivers, a lot like what happened in the Super Bowl, but we've seen it now for 2 weeks straight. The Chiefs, I mean, we said this too, with Rashee Rice being suspended for 6 weeks, 6 games rather, they needed to win. Like, this is must-win games here, and they haven't. So they've got some tougher competition coming down the line too. Well, after, the Giants.
So for the Chiefs, I'll say, like, I don't think it's panic mode yet. Like, they're 0-2, but when you look at the Chiefs, like, we already know what they have. They have a really good defense. They have an offense that, when it's hitting on all cylinders, it's pretty tough to stop. And one of the better quarterbacks in the league, who's probably the best quarterback to have when broken down plays occur. Like, the guy just does uncanny things that you would never think are possible. But for the Chiefs overall, I think they got a great coaching staff there. So, like, I'm not really worried yet with the Chiefs now. And got to remember too, the first 2 opponents that they had to face, pretty darn good. So I'm not willing to hit the panic mode button yet on the Chiefs. But I'll tell you who I am willing to hit the panic mode button on, and that's the 0-2 Dolphins, who have actually only scored 35 points in 2 weeks. Points against, though, 66 points they're giving up already.
What?
Injuries are mounting up in Miami. Tua's playing poorly. O-line is in shambles. They lost both their guards this past week. Like, they're trying to scrape whatever free agents that they can bring in and work out and maybe figure out the roster to try to turn this thing around. The coaching at the top level with McDaniels isn't working anymore. Now, I don't blame everything on him. He's still a creative mind on the offensive side, but I'll tell you this right now, offense and defense go hand in hand. What don't they have? Defense. Defense is struggling still. No pass rush still. Like, Jalen Phillips, where are you? Chop Robinson, what have you been doing lately? Like, I don't see a means to an end this season to where they're going to get back to their winning ways and kick into high gear and release that powerful offense that we are used to seeing. It is in dire need of a change. And I say this, and I got to say, McDaniels, your time is running out. And this year is going to kind of put a stamp on it. If you continue to struggle this year, my guess and my opinion is I think that you're going to end up being fired at the end of this year. Not another year, of like, oh, well, it wasn't our year this year, so let's pass the bill and move on to next season. Guess what? This is your year to prove it. If you can't turn this thing around, bro, which it doesn't look good, by the way, I think that panic has to be, all through South Beach right now.
Yeah, Joe. Again, I thought at least I knew Miami's going to take a step back, but I thought at least they would put something up better than this. And even Tua. It starts at Tua too, because the mistakes week 1, missed throws week 2. Again, underthrowing even guys. We already bust on him for weakness in throwing the deep balls, stuff like that. But you could see receivers getting frustrated. His big time plays were even to the running back. So. Again, when you had a team like Patriots, you had a chance to win, and you still couldn't do it in the big moment too at the end to try and close out the game too. The pick just to close it up, it was over. You know what I mean? So, and where were you throwing? Like, seriously, bro. Like, you turned and looked. There's literally a defender right in front of the receiver and then a defender behind him. Like, and he threw it right at him. You're like, what the frig are you looking at? So big questions there. Mike McDaniels, like you said, maybe his time's coming. It was cool. It was fresh. You know, he had a different take on things.
I still think
But
he's good. I just
no, and
don't
I get
think-
it. I mean, that doesn't
I
change how
just-
good you are and stuff like that too. But with leadership and stuff like that, maybe he just doesn't have it there. You know what I mean? He's more of an
I just
introvert,
don't
kind of like,
think
I
he's a
don't know,
head
man. You know,
coach.
blah, blah. So
That's it.
right.
I just don't
Right.
think he's a head coach. I think if he's going to play just offensive coordinator, I think he'll excel. I really
Mhm.
do. I just think that head coaching might not be the job for him. Should go back to being an OC.
Mhm. Yeah. So there, if one of these teams, I'm hitting the panic button on them just because I thought they'd be better, a little better than this. You know, Saints again. I didn't think they're going to be very good though. Too. They look, you know, they're staying in games, but again, I don't expect a whole much, so I'm not really panicking there either.
No.
Um,
I mean, any of the other 0-2 teams that are out there, like there's different situations that are transpiring that
mhm.
it's not panic mode yet. Like, you know what I mean? Like the Cleveland Browns, like they still have a good defense. Their offense is kind of it's okay. It's not like, you know, where it needs to be, but they're struggling too. Like they're another team that's 0-2, but I don't think they're at the panic mode just yet. Um but yeah,
But
like I mean, Saints, we kind of
I
expected
think,
that, right? Like
yeah,
even
like
whether it
anything.
be Tyler Shook or Spencer Rattler, we
Mhm.
kind of saw that team as like, okay, yeah, they're going to be kind of competitive sometimes, but overall, they're going to end up losing the games.
Right, and I'd say the probably, you know, you're not going to make the Chiefs panic and stuff, but to go 0-2 in this division to where all those teams have gotten better. If it's not for, you know, some of these tight games, Denver and things, and then, the Chargers facing against the Raiders in a tight game too. One of them had to come away with a loss. Like, it would have been a bigger, like, rougher part. You know, they're still at the bottom of the division, but they could still kind of get back into it. Texans, I think, not exactly panic, but again, a lot of mistakes by that team. I thought offensively they've gotten better. I thought Nick
Mm,
Chubb would play better. But their defense is keeping them in games, but they
defense is awesome.
they were tough in some of those games and not get wins. And with the Colts going 2-0 right now and looking really good,
Yeah,
Jacksonville is really competitive even too. They've surprised me too. And Tennessee, I mean, they're coming around. You know, they got some good plays here. Again, I still think they're growing. I still think they're going to be in the bottom of the division, but
yeah.
I thought this was the Texans' division to lose, and they're sitting here at 0-2 right now already, and haven't faced the divisional opponents. So wait till they go against the Colts again. I can't wait for this matchup then.
I mean, here's my thing with the Texans is they just need to be healthy. That's the bottom line. Their offensive line is terrible right now because they got a bunch of guys injured all the time. You know, and CJ Stroud, how can he just sit back there and try to throw the football when he's got guys in his face right after the snap? So I mean that to me is again like another 0-2 team it's a different situation. It's because of the lack of players up front that are healthy. So I think as soon as those guys end up coming back, or maybe they make a move, whether it be a free agent out there that they bring in to help them, something like that to kind of help shore up the front. I think the Texans will get right back into the driver's seat. So I'm not really worried about them as well. Like I think there's like the one panic mode team for me is the Dolphins. Like everyone else has their
Mhm.
different situations. And some we've already expected to be kind of like a
Yeah.
dumpster fire a little bit. So that would be kind of like the one team that I'm most worried about in a season where we kind of expected them to have a good offense, but not so much a defense. But we're not seeing either.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it's only panic again because too, we know the whole stat with, you start 0-2, the percentage of making the playoffs after that is very grim. And
Oh
with the
yeah, I
competition
get
in
that.
some of these, you know, divisions, the way they're
And
tight, it's just going to be tough for some of these guys. So
Jimmy, what do you got for your best 2-0 team?
my best 2-0 team right here, Joe. All right. Looking at the undefeated teams, I think it's pretty clear to me, at least in my opinion, that the Green Bay Packers currently right now are the best team in the league, in my opinion.
Mhm.
They're all over the ball here on defense. Like we've talked about, they've been a top 5 defense. They're doing great now with the addition of Micah Parsons here. They're running on all phases. Jordan Love, again, playing really safe. He's got 240 yards passing per game right now, not turning the ball over, looking like the Jordan Love from 2 years ago, Joe. So I think
brother,
overall
preach.
with Josh Jacobs too as well, running the ball, they're just the most complete team. And if you look at the opponents that they've faced, the Lions, last week, just dominating, you know what I'm saying? And these are good teams they're facing. So you look at these other teams that were good teams, like the Philadelphia Eagles, even the Bills, they were in some tight matchups. So
Right.
I think this next matchup here, if they are able to beat the Ravens, that will just, I think, automatically put them right here at the number 1 seed here, and the best team in the league right now.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of a chink in the armor for the Chiefs, for the Eagles, you know what I mean? Where the defense isn't up to snuff for both teams that as much as we were used to seeing. And because of that, we've seen both those teams struggle at times. Eagles with the Cowboys, Chiefs, recently. Like there's something going on there. And it could be because they don't have everybody with the Chiefs, like especially offensively, like they don't have Rashi Rice, so it's kind of like throwing off their offense a little bit. But again, they're smart enough and they're good enough to kind of turn this thing around. But being 0-2, it's going to be difficult. But Jim, I got to tell you my best 2-0 team. Let me tell you a little bit about the Green Bay Packers. That's right, I said the Green Bay Packers. Let's talk about this team because this is a team that they're a very young team. The window to win a Super Bowl is pretty big. I mean, when you look at the roster in the grand scheme of things, the offensive line is younger. The obviously Jordan Love is still in his prime, is young. The receivers, they're all young. Like even Christian Watson, who still isn't healthy yet, he's going to be coming back. Just signed a new 1-year extension, so he's sticking around in Green Bay. So he's going to come back when he's healthy. You got Josh Jacobs in the backfield, still in his prime, still kicking it, and that's alleviating some of the pressure on Jordan Love because hey, I get to hand the ball off to Josh and let him run around, let him be a battering ram against the defense. I don't have to do it all anymore. So, and then on the defense, again, already was a good defense before the season even started. And then you put the cherry on top with Micah Parsons being traded there. Are you kidding me? This just doesn't make sense. Like, why would anybody allow this? Jerry, you're a fool. Green Bay, you're the winner on this. And I'll tell you right now, the Packers, the sky's the limit. Let's talk about how their points for the amount of points they scored already in 2 weeks is 54 points. That's third behind the Bills and the Colts. Believe it or not, the Colts, they're scoring points. Points against what they're allowing to happen, 31 points. Are you kidding me? That's only second behind the Chargers, and that's by 1 point. Chargers have 30 points against. The freaking Packers have 31. So this is a very special team. And I got to say, like, if they stay healthy, guys, I'm saying Super Bowl is the goal here. Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, like you said, when you see it right on paper, on the eye test too, watching the games, they're just the most complete team right now. So, absolutely. 54, points again in 2 weeks. It's craziness. 41% on third downs, getting it done in all phases. Not to say that these other teams aren't good though. You know what I mean? Again, Eagles pulling off some tough victories here, but they don't look like the Eagles from last year. Bills, we've had our gripes about them too as well. They were able to pull off a victory in week 1. This past week they played the Jets, who were just not prepared at all, and couldn't handle them at all. I think they're still scoring, and the Bills, it's just embarrassing. There's like, where are you going? Everybody just kept pounding it on them.
Bills are number 1. I think the Bills have 71 points, everyone.
Yeah, right. That's what I mean. It just pounded on there again. And some of the other ones, the Bengals, again, I think now their season's done. Colts, right now they're the surprise team. what are we going to see? I mean,
there's
I
always
think
one.
that could be an easy team to kind of jump onto, though, because I think, again, you had your Daniel Jones supporters that were with the Giants. He's on a different team. People still like him. We talked about Greg, and I think he still likes Daniel Jones. You know what I mean? He said that he's still a decent quarterback. He thought it was the organization. Here you go. You get with Shane Steichen and the Colts now. You've got a good D-line. You've got, an offensive line protecting you, giving you time. You've got Jonathan Taylor in the backfield, too, to alleviate some of that in the running game. And, he's thrown into some good receivers. He said you don't have a Malik Neighbors there, but you don't really need to the way that offense is and what you've got there. So, it's
he
playing
does.
safe, so it'd be interesting to see what the Colts do and how far they take this in that division.
He does have Michael Pittman, who I know a lot of people kind of overlook, but man, the
Right.
guy can play. And honestly, like for the Colts, they are the surprise team this year. There's always one. There's always one team where you're like, I don't know how they're going to do, and then what the hell is going on? This is not the team we thought was going to be here. The Colts are shredding. I mean, shredding. Yes, Daniel Jones is shredding defenses, and the Colts with him at the helm. Like I gotta say, like I'm very impressed by Daniel Jones, and this also shows you that the Giants organization and the coaching staff are the problem. Because Daniel Jones is going to us, then big questions arise in New York and looking at Brian Daboll. Like, dude, this guy is killing it in Indy. What didn't you do that you could have done better to keep him here and would have been that featured quarterback for you? You should be shredding defenses. So I gotta say, maybe it's the offensive scheme too with the Colts. It's different, and maybe it fits Daniel Jones better. So much so that we're seeing it. He's surprising us. So, those teams right there, Packers, Bills, Colts, they are the hottest offenses right now. And the Chargers, they're another tough team as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Chargers are up there as well. Again, they're another team that offensively can get it going in the air game, but then also on the run attack. But defense really good. You do have
They just
Khalil
physically
Mack
beat
go
you up.
down, but they are another team that kind of, I don't know if it's a hardball thing or whatever, but again, pounds on the pressure and the points, but then kind of seems like in the end of the games kind of lets a team hang around and kind of make a little bit of a comeback, but still able to close out games here, at least for them in the Chargers here. So we'll look to see them challenge this division.
Jim, I just got to say the LA Chargers are like the bouncers of the nightclub. That's what they are. They're all big, mean, tough guys that whether you're playing O-line, D-line, linebacker, they're all big. They're all just big dudes that just beat the crap out of you for 60 minutes. And then when the dust settles, they're winning. Like they got the win. Like it's incredible. They are just a
Hart
very
just
tough
mush Geno Smith's face. Like he's getting pushed kind of into Geno, and he's just like, brah, all the stuff. So yeah, great matchups here, week 2. Totally opposite for some teams from week 1. Russell Wilson, holy crap. Looks like the Wilson of old. Moon balls for everybody. That game was just wild, man. That one was just back and forth. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. My nerves are going crazy. I didn't expect them to win. Again, I picked against them. But, I would have been happy if they pull out a win. But that's the Giants, life of a Giants fan, though, too, is you give up. You get all this hope. You score with 18 seconds, I think, in the matchup here. You're thinking you might have put them to bed here, just like Blink Neighbors did, but with Brandon Aubrey just with that long leg and be able to kick it that far, they're never really out of it, right? And that defense going soft. It seemed like whenever again they needed to march down and get yards, they just give everything underneath and let them come right down. So
that
is disappointing there.
Brandon Aubrey is lethal. He is the best kicker hands down in the league. I mean, the dude, not only does he have a super strong leg, but he's deadly accurate too. Like I know we kind of look at Justin Tucker as that model that all teams would love, but Aubrey's just a little bit different. Like he's kind of like just smooth as silk. Like nothing bothers the dude. Nothing. He goes up there and he acts like he's by himself on the football field. Nobody's watching. Nobody's rushing the kick. Like he just acts so nonchalant and kicks it with ease, and it just takes right off. Like it's amazing. So yeah, I mean the
Well, I
Cowboys
think
really got
some of
themselves
it,
one.
yeah, I think some of it is just the fact that, he's not a football player, he's a soccer player. So then he was
A
done
lot
with
of kickers
soccer.
are.
Yeah, I know, but done. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, I could probably hit it from here. I'm going to give it a shot, whatever. So I feel like he takes that approach to the game to where, I'm just here kicking and I'm just doing what I do. You know what I'm saying? And there is no real pressure that really affects him, just playing a game, and extended, my career, and been able to do this and enjoying doing it. So, yeah, I mean, it sucks for a Giants fan to have, the Cowboys have him, right? Because at this point
Oh
now
man.
with the Cowboys where they are, not really
Right.
great on defense, to have a kicker that can end games like that for you.
Yeah, Giants
It's
should
pretty
trade
rough.
for
So,
Brandon Aubrey.
yeah, right.
Just try to get him from Jerry's wheeling a deal, and you might as well
Uh,
hop on the train now. Try to get him to give him up.
right.
Listen, Jim, I know we got to go.
Yep.
It's that time again. But listen, everybody out there, if you stuck with us even to this point, like God bless you. Thank you guys so much for the support. It's been awesome. We are over 17,000 subscribers at Grumblings Media. Really do appreciate everybody. Appreciate all the comments today from everyone. That's been fun. But tell a friend to tell a friend. Everybody, spread the word. Let everybody know that you checked us out. Listen, this is the one show that you want to check out because we're interactive, because we're going to give you guys an opportunity to join in the conversation. And you can help us further support us over on YouTube at Grumblings Media. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Just a couple clicks. Make sure you hit the thumbs up as well. It does help us get more noticed by other people. And also tell a friend to tell a friend. You know the deal. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Hey everybody, this is Big John from Grumblings Media, and I just want to say thank you for watching our content. If you want to support our efforts here at Grumblings Media, just smash the subscribe button right here, totally free, or just go ahead and consume more of our great content. Click either one of these two boxes.